So we realized here at Pecan Tree that between the free forum where you can ask advice and then a $10,000 consulting and appraisal engagement, there really wasn't a lot in between. And if you wanted to know just if you're getting paid on the right wells, if you're getting paid the right amount, and you didn't need all of that, where do you go? And this is our new product, and is geared towards the entry-level mineral owner. And this is, you've gotten to the point where you're like, oh, these minerals are things that I should probably know more about. I should probably be tracking it somehow. But I don't need like an advisor. I don't need a mineral manager. I just want a pulse on what's happening. I need some signals I can look at. I need to be able to plug in my wells. I'm okay with handling, like getting them in there. I'm okay with a little DIY. I just want to have a good sense on the answers and a good external founding on what my paycheck is based on. Because that's something we hear a lot is how do I know I'm getting paid correctly? How do I know that, when Chevron sends me this $100 check that it shouldn't be $1,000? I have no idea how to check that. And then also, I have all these wells, like, is this worth a lot? Is this something I need to be estate planning for? Like, what do I even do with this? Or is this just something I can just put in the back of my brain and say this is mailbox money and I don't have to think about anymore? And then, especially if you're thinking of making a change, maybe you're debating, okay, should I go to, one of those sites to sell my minerals? Should I be talking to the people who called to take an offer? Is there something going on? But maybe you're not to the point that you want to put a lot of investment into it yet. You're still kind of figuring out if it's worth looking into, because quite honestly, a lot of the tools that are out there to do those deep dives, a lot of the experts are very expensive. I am, I think I'm part of the problem, honestly. We try to provide a lot of solutions that are reachable and scalable, but when it comes down to it, it just takes a lot of resources to answer these types of questions. And so, we have 6 full-time employees, even for just our small company. It's a lot of overhead, all the data, all the packages, all the software, all the education that's required to know how to do this type of thing. There's a lot of overhead involved. So when you need to do the deep dives, there's kind of like just a jump from free forums to $10,000 like consulting. Like there's not that in between. And we want people to be able to see, okay, is there something that I should be looking into or not, without doing that deep dive? So is anything changing? And we want you to always have that answer on hand, because that's how you're going to be able to make those decisions when you get that flyer in the mail, when you get that call, when your friend asks you over Christmas, like, what are your plans for this asset? Or Aunt Elma asks what's happening on my property? Like, being able to answer those easily and having that framing just helps you feel more secure that you're doing the right thing and that you're not missing out on something important. Okay. So yes, meet Pecan Essentials. I'm about to switch to the actual product itself. Thank you for bearing with me. Again, I think I'd mentioned that my brain's not fully working today. Just to give a clear picture of how Essentials fits in with our existing product, Pecan Portfolio. So they're both portfolios that you can put stuff in. One is the Essentials subscription to Portfolio. One is the Core subscription to Portfolio. And Portfolio being a continuing place that you can put your assets, whether it's you're tracking your minerals, you're tracking your deed locations, your wells, everywhere that you can put it's a storage place. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's a storage place for you to put your assets so that you can layer on what you need over time. So whether that's a one-time appraisal, so whenever we do our appraisals, we build in to one of these portfolios and we put the assets there. And then if that's what we build our appraisals out of, is like the highest version, the non-public version of our tool. And the appraisal itself then has an asset that we can hand over to anyone who does a project with us and say, here is your portfolio, it's free to maintain. There's no subscription that you need to maintain just having the assets here. But if you ever need to or want to in the future, you can turn on different products. So Essentials is for owners usually holding, people who aren't looking to sell or they're not planning on selling quite yet, but they're wanting to track it. While Core is usually for people who are in either very active areas and maybe they're not thinking of selling, but they just need more asset management, or they're looking at making some type of change, whether it's buying, selling, estate work, tax work, something like that. For ownership, for Essentials, you tell us what you own and we do the rest. So there's less discovery that happens. While with Core, we do more of the digging, and by we, I mean our algorithms and tools and technology. That's largely what that's a good part of what Core pays for, is all of the technology and research and time that's been put into estimating which wells you should have an interest in and how much interest you should have. That is a lot of time and effort to doing those calculations. Just letting you know that is our big. One of our big things that we have on the back end, because nobody knows exactly what they own. Well, we've maybe had one or two clients that had it fully down like to the penny, but it's a very common thing to miss some wells, to miss some acreage. Core lets us do a lot of iterative back and forth, while Essentials, you just put in the wells that you're getting paid on. You can do some discovery yourself, but our tool itself does not discover for you. For checks, you confirm it every month. We also have that same thing in Core, but there's also an audit process that you can work through. The upside, remember, that is the stuff that hasn't been drilled yet. That one's more of a plain English read, like a qualitative, like what is prospective in this area, but not necessarily quantifying it. While in Core, we put a dollar figure on that. Okay, the upside in the Woodford Reservoir is worth this much because of these reasons. So that is the other really big piece of Core, is all of the engineering and calculations that goes into figuring out all those other pieces of it. So yes, we do have a full 3P reserves, if you know what that means. We do full 3P reserves in our Core portfolios. And then price for Essentials, we are pricing it at only $100 a month. So I know that compared to your Netflix subscription, it's more, but maybe compared to your Uber Eats, it's not. Maybe that's just me. But it's the amount of information you get for that, we think is more often than not going to pay for itself. And there are some portfolios out there who don't need even that much. And in that case, that's what the live stream's for. Like, you can ask your questions here. You can go to we have a lot of free information on our site also. So that's our target here. And then the deeper engine, that one is, our shelf price on that one is $6,000 a year, $500 a month. And then there's also, that's where people start having multiple portfolios or multiple different things that they're wanting to take advantage of. So just pointing out the difference between the two. We usually do a lot of unique pricing on Core because that's where you're getting into more like advanced needs. And so just if you ever aren't sure how your portfolios would fit into our pricing tier, just email us. We're happy to work with whatever you have.